It was a strange first half the way it ended, but the second half performance was much better, I thought.
Yeah, the first half was nowhere near the levels that we require. So we had a few words with them at half time, choice words. Didn't change anything tactically. It was a miles better performance. So we need to stop getting to a point where people pick and choose when they want to do things. They either do it or they don't play. So the second half was exactly how we wanted it to look. Played some really good football, ran forward, but we ran, we competed, we won duels, and they're out on that and scored some good goals and created some good chances. A couple of random decisions that went against us, but it didn't cost us in the end. And we said they must have enjoyed the second half more than they did in the first. I think the supporters would have been the same, and I was exactly the same. So it's just getting that mentality of that's why we picked the team that we did. It's we need to get to a point where it's you know what we're going to get week in, week out, and we're not quite there.
Having been disappointed with how the cup competitions went in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup for us, it was important that we progressed in this one and showed a little bit of ambition to go into the knockout rounds. It's a competition that you've done well in previous years as a coach as well. It's a good experience for the lads and away from the league to play different opposition and get this experience and build that momentum as well, isn't it?
It's just a game of football. Just a game of football, just go and win. So I don't think we've been, other than the Doncaster game where we were really young, I think you look at the Walsall team that we put. I was a lot of experience in that team. And just trying to get them to recognise that don't pick and choose. The right thing's the right thing. So if you're playing at Wembley in front of 90,000, Mikel makes the foul on the touchline. Well, do it. Take the foul. Don't go, it's only Man United. It doesn't matter. It does matter. Every pass matters in training. So these are all things that I've got a meeting with them tomorrow. We've got them in tomorrow. And it's just trying to iron out a few things, because when we look like we did the second half, we look a really good team. But it's giving yourselves a platform to showcase that.
There's another goal for Ben Wiles, another assist for Ben Wiles, another goal for Reece Healey, and Michal back for best part of 65 minutes and all those sorts of things. When you start to dig in and look for positives as well, it's not hard to find, which is a good feeling going into a stretch now with a little bit of an international break.
Yeah, I think since with the two Barnsley games before the last one, and then from one break to the next, the Tamworth game aside, which I think everyone knows at the football club that we'll be apologising for that for a long time. We're going to have to take that one, but we've gone unbeaten through the rest of it in the league, and another win tonight. So we win Saturday, which I firmly believe that we should have done. We end up fourth in the league, but it's sometimes there's a bit of a weird feeling, and it's like, well, just get in and work. Don't worry about where you're on the table now. Don't worry about anything like that. Just get in, work, and then results look after themselves. It's the reason why it's the saying. It's what I've said from day dot, and every now and again, just because maybe during the day, too often they're a little bit lax with each other. But no, today, like I said, I had to give them a bit of a volley at half time, but they responded in a really, really positive way, and it ends up being a really pleasing night.
We've got a tough game to come back to afterwards. Nathan Jones' Charlton, his sides are never easy to play against. What does this period look like? Because there's obviously a few days off. We've got the weekend to ourselves, but training doesn't stop. And like you say, they're in tomorrow to digest this game and work on themselves to make sure they're ready to go for that match.
Yeah, they'll get the weekend off. But other than that, they'll be... And I say to them all the time, I think they need... psychologically as much as anything, spend some time with their family. We spend a lot of time on the road and away from families, and there's a lot of sacrifice there as well. But when they're in, they're working. There's no, we'll just come in and have a five-a-side, and it's work. But you should enjoy working hard. It's an enjoyable job. I said to the players yesterday, I remember on Sunday, there's young lads their age going to war. So it ain't bad when you're getting paid pretty decent money to run around and have a game of football. And it's just trying to remind them that sometimes that we're lucky to be in the position that we are at a brilliant football club and a big football club at this level. But it's those big club behaviours that we need to get to, because we are a big club, particularly in this league. So there's not an entitlement. Football doesn't owe you anything. It's just because you're a footballer, it's not acceptable to be an egg. So it's having that humility and that drive and that hard work, and then results look after themselves at the end. But you've got to get that every day, and that's where we're trying to get to.
I don't want to count us chickens or anything like that, and I mean no disrespect to the competition at all, but I think we're about 3 ties from Wembley should we progress. That's quite an exciting proposition regardless of what competition it is, isn't it?
Well, like I said, don't get too far ahead of yourself, because you'll end up tripping over one of the one in front of you. So, one thing you do know, if you do get to Wembley, we'll take a lot of fans down there. But I think in the last 2 games, we've shown that we've gone really strong in it, so we do want to take it serious, because we haven't got a winning culture at the football club yet. Been too many years of survive, and that's what we're trying to change, and it takes time. You've got to win enough games to get that time. Everyone knows that in my business. But no, I think I was pleased with the reaction tonight. No one would have been happy at half time. Granted, I think they've had one shot in the game, and they took it really well. And they had some dangerous players. They were young, and they had an appetite for the game. So our lads had to do a lot of running and looked pretty tired when they came off, which should be a non-negotiable. When you walk off a football pitch after 90 minutes, you shouldn't be able to run much more.
Gaffer, thank you very much for your time and congratulations on the win.
Cheers, Raj.